It's time for your Low Country real estate market update. It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Brian is one of the top 1% real estate agents in Charleston. Find him online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. Now, broadcasting from the WTMA studios, here's your host, Brian Beatty.
Good morning, Charleston. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm Brian Beatty, host of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show, and I appreciate you spending some time with me this morning as we discuss real estate here in the Charleston area. If you are just tuning into this program for the first time, let me give you a little bit of an idea of what this show is all about. I'm a real estate agent. I have been for 11 years. I have a team here locally. I've been ranked in the top 1% of agents since 2009. We've done about 1,000 transactions in the Charleston area. And the purpose of this show is to share my experiences with you. I want to help educate you about the market, about the process of buying, selling, and investing in real estate, and prepare you so that when it comes time for you to transact, you're a more informed consumer. You know the right questions to ask. You have a better understanding of the process in general, and you can use that to your financial gain. So if at any point in time you'd like to reach out to me, you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, feel free to reach me off air. My number is 843-345-1273. That's 345-1273. That's my cell. Call or text that number. Or you're welcome to go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. A lot of information on there about, who we are, what we do, what we sell, what we've sold. I've just uploaded some videos on there, some good informational videos for you to look through. And of course, any previously recorded version of this program can be found on that website, listingsincharleston.com. So here's what I want to talk about over the next hour. As likely many of you are in the car on the way back from visiting family or friends for Thanksgiving. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I want to express some gratitude and say some things that I'm thankful for that have helped shape my career and have kind of put me in this position. I want to talk, of course, about the market. I've got some good stats to read through so you guys have a better understanding of where we are right now in the market in comparison to last year. And then I want to talk about how buyers and sellers get frustrated when buying or selling a house and what you can do about it. I want to highlight some of those things to help you avoid some mistakes and ensure that when you buy or sell or invest in real estate, you're choosing the right agent first. You know the process. You know how to take advantage of an opportunity. You know how to get the property marketed the best, set the right price. All of those things we're going to discuss over the next hour. And again, I do appreciate you guys being on the program. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I wanted to express some gratitude. I grew up in a household where as we were sitting around the table, we would say what we are thankful for. And I'm appreciative of my mom for doing that and instilling that in me and in my brothers and sisters. I have 9 brothers and sisters. Not many people know that. Now, some are half, but a big family growing up, all of which got along very well. And I grew up in a family that has been in real estate for about 60 years. My grandfather started a real estate development company that my father ran for several decades. And that was kind of the plan all along. I followed my dad around and went on appointments when I was a kid and spent time in his office. Anytime I could, I wanted to just be surrounded by that environment. Plus, it was pretty cool for your dad to be the boss. But I loved watching him work. And that's really where I developed my passion for real estate. So the plan all along, really, ever since I was about 12 years old and said, this is really what I want to do with my life, the plan was to go to work for the family business. They're a commercial development company that focuses mostly on shopping centers up and down the East Coast. And so, I'm going through high school. My summer jobs are, pulling weeds in parking lots and painting fire lanes with oil-based paint and just doing whatever I could to submerge myself into that culture, into that business. And then went to college. Of course, the plan still is to join the family company. And then right around 2005, beginning of 2006, when the market really started to shift, I remember getting a call from my dad and saying, son, I've spoken with your grandfather, and we have both decided that in order to bring you on board, we would need to let somebody go. And we're not in a position to do that right now. So we still want you to work for the family company, but we think it's better for you to go out and get some outside experience. Go get a job somewhere in real estate doing something that you can find some passion in, and then that way we can bring you into the company and you'll have some experience. It won't look like, me, your father's just bringing on his son and putting him in some sort of undeserved position. So that's what I did. I graduated in 2006. I immediately got my real estate license. I was licensed in September of 2006, 21 years old, and went to work selling real estate. And as the years progressed, I found success in it. There were a lot of people that helped me along the way. And I want to say first and foremost that I'm appreciative of that. I had some great mentors and some people that had found success in real estate in addition to my family. And so as I'm kind of plugging along and selling real estate, fast forward to say 2009. And 2009 is really when I got it. Things kind of kicked into high gear for me. I became an agent in the top 1% of agents in all of Charleston. That's where I've been ever since. And I'm really appreciative of that direction, because had I gone into commercial real estate, that market saw some difficulty for a number of years that obviously was different from residential real estate, which is what I do now. But I love what I do, and I really can't imagine myself at this point doing anything other than what I do. And so I'm thankful for that opportunity, which at the time came to me as a bit of a blow. Sorry, son, you can't come and work for me. I have a fantastic relationship with my dad. He's by far my mentor, my hero, the person I look up to, just an incredible man. Listening to him speak is like listening to poetry. The man is so well-spoken and so knowledgeable about real estate. It's really something to aspire to. And so as I'm developing my career and getting into sales, 2011, I became the top agent in the Southeast U.S. for my previous brokerage. And, I want to express some gratitude for my first clients, because hiring a 21, 22-year-old in a time where the market was starting to shift, obviously 2008 is when the bottom fell out, but they trusted a young man that was clearly very passionate about the business, but just didn't have the experience yet to trust, me with their real estate needs. And a lot of people were going through a very tough time from 2008 until, even 2013 was really when I think things started to pick up a little bit. So I focused on short sales, foreclosures, became an expert in that side of the market. And that was really what I brought to the table, in addition to just being young and hungry and passionate and available and ready to do whatever it took to get the job done. Now, I will say I had a very supportive wife. I got married in 2009, and she really stuck with me through that. I mean, I remember back to 2011 as I was kind of making some notes for the program today. And I remember in 2011, because I kept track of it, my goal was to set an appointment every day, 365 appointments. And I got about 400 appointments. I think the number here is 404. I got 404 appointments, which is a massive amount of activity for a single real estate agent. And I also tracked the number of days I worked, and I worked 341 days. That is exactly 2 weeks off, meaning literally every other weekend, I took 1 day off. But besides that, I was working 7 days a week. I had a very big goal of moving us out of the condo that I had first purchased when I got out of college and into a home that we could raise a family in, which we did. We were successful in that endeavor. So, Julie, if you're listening, thank you very much for sticking with me and continuing to stick with me. I'm not working 7 days a week anymore. I'd say a good 6. I still work very hard. I still work a lot. And I pride myself on being available to my clients and to my team. That's really one of the things that we're all about is communication. We're going to talk about that later. Communication is such a big deal with real estate agents, and it's very challenging in terms of the relationship between the buyer, the seller, and the agent. That's one of the things that is almost always lacking when I have a conversation with somebody that says, yeah, I had my house on the market. It didn't sell. I still want to sell, but I'm interviewing. I'm not prepared to go back to the same agent because I don't want more of the same. I don't want to repeat that. And if they're not going to do anything differently, and I don't believe they're going to have a drastic change in the way they approach the business, so I'm looking for a new agent. I also want to say that, I'm very thankful to WTMA for allowing me to discuss my passion for educating people about this real estate market and for continuously pushing me to be the expert advisor that you guys turn to when you want to know more about the housing industry. The last thing in the world that I want, which I agreed to before coming on this program a little over 5 years ago, was that I never wanted to be in a position where I didn't know what I was talking about. And so it has forced me to be an expert in the real estate market, which has helped my clients and my team immensely. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that to help you guys understand that the amount of time and energy and experience that I bring to this program is all designed to help you, the consumer, make better sense out of the market, have some real facts and figures to go off of, and then plan accordingly. We educate you on the process. We help you understand how to approach things so that you achieve financial gain in your transaction. Of course, there's the stress and the time and the energy and the customer service that goes into all of that. But our primary goal is to accomplish your goal in a professional and profitable manner, if I could say it that way. I also want to say that I'm very thankful for the support of the listeners of this program. I mean, they tell me that, hey, I took something away from this program. You're doing a good job. That to me is music to my ears. It's what keeps me going. It's what allows me to have fun with this. And this is fun. I do enjoy this. This is very therapeutic for me. But I want to say thank you for that. It's, this show, at least in my mind, is packed full of content helped or designed, again, to help you be more prepared when it comes time to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or help someone you know or like or trust or love to transact in real estate as well. It doesn't have to be just you. If you know somebody that's about to get into real estate as a profession or buy, sell, or invest, you can take the information on this program as well as the files I have on my website, listingsincharleston.com. Listen to it. I've put a summary below every single recording I ever have so you know what you're getting yourself into before you commit to, an hour-long podcast. But all that information is there, listingsincharleston.com. So just wanted to say thank you very much for the opportunity, for allowing me to share my passion with you guys on this program. And of course, to those of you that call and trust us with your business, we absolutely love it. We love helping people. And if that's something I can do for you, please give me a call. My number is 843-345-1273. That's my cell, 345-1273. Or visit my website, listingsincharleston.com. Now, when we get back to things, we're going to talk about the market. I'm going to give you some really good numbers here, so stick around. That's coming up right here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Hear the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 and each Sunday morning at 10 on 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. WTMA. Now, here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. Thanks again for taking some time out of your morning or your drive to share it with me so that we can talk about real estate in a meaningful way, give you some information to help prepare you for when it comes time for you to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, help prepare you for the market in general. That's what I want to talk about now. If you're just joining me, in my first segment, I express some gratitude for the people that have helped me get to this point in my career, which has been, about 11 years, a little over 11 years, about 1,000 transactions between myself and the members of my team. And, if there's one thing that I have learned over the course of that 11 years, well, I guess let me say this. One of my favorite sayings is a smooth sea never made a skillful mariner. And what I mean by that is that I'm thankful that our market has shifted for the better, of course. A little harder on buyers now than, of course, it was several years ago. It depends on which perspective you look at it from. But I will say that, when the market was very tough, there were a lot of people in extremely high-pressure situations. They were very stressed out. And I think that, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, even now, even when the market is good, even when things seem to be going our way, we've got positive economic data that we can hang our hat on and positive trends, I think that we still just, as a public, are a little guilty, I know I am, of just putting more on our plate than we can actually handle. I know that I am guilty of saying yes to so many things that it requires me to work at night. I'm not the type of person to let things get swept under the rug or just move past me. I'm going to get it done no matter what. And so, yes, I'm guilty of working evenings, after my wife goes to bed to play a little catch up on things that are able to be done at night. But as that relates to the real estate market, I will tell you that there's a lot of positivity in the market, but it is not all sunshine and rainbows. And I think that, again, going to my previous point of a lot of people just in general tend to be maxed out with what they can do and the time that they spend on their to-do lists, the things that they want to get done in their life. Obviously, some people are more motivated than others. And if you've got big goals, it means you're just going to be busy. You have to get over it. You have to push through it to get to that high ceiling that you're setting for yourself. But there are so many instances, even in a good market, where people are just stressed out and one small thing goes wrong and it's like they break, they flip out. And again, having been in this market for 11 years, it has taught me to be extremely sympathetic and understanding with people's situations and digging for the bigger reason as to why they're so upset. But you're also hiring me to be your professional. You do not want me to get emotional with you because that clouds judgment at times. And what I want to say about that is the real estate market is not all sunshine and rainbows. The data is positive. I'm going to read that in just a minute. But there are areas of our market within the Tri-County that are starting to show a sign of a shift. And what I mean by that is the rate by which homes are appreciating is starting to slow down as inventory catches up with demand. You know, we always talk about supply and demand on this show. In several markets within the Charleston area, there has been a equilibrium that has been set in those markets. New listings have caught up with sales. There's now no longer this extreme shortage of inventory in some of these areas, and it's leaving sellers perplexed because they're under the assumption that it's all good. And it's mostly good. It's almost all good, but there are some areas that require you to dig deeper and better understand what's truly happening in that market. And that's why you hire a truly experienced real estate agent doing a lot of real estate deals so that they can help you read between the lines and assign some reason or justification as to why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. You know, if you own a home and you list it and you're expecting to sell it in 30 days when in reality the market average is more like 90, that's an expectations issue. Your agent needs to go through that with you and give you a very good understanding of what we realistically think we can sell the property for, how long it's going to take if you're buying a home. You know, offering 20% off the listing price in most cases is going to get a rejection. Sellers are just not going to play that game. If they do, they're going to come off the price maybe 1% and say, get real or go home. And so there's some challenges in this market. And so let me kind of give you a broad overview of where we are as a market right now. And this is as it relates to the Tri-County area. New listings are up about 5% year to date from the same amount of time in 2016. Pending sales, meaning properties that go under contract, are up 6%. Closings are up 3%. As of the end of last month, we'd sold 16,275 properties. That's almost 1,000 more than in 2016. The days on market is slightly down. We're sitting at about 55 days on market on average right now. The median sales price is $250 in the Charleston Tri-County area. The average sales price is $338. Obviously, we use the median because I think it's a better indication of appreciation or depreciation. If you use averages and we sell a $30 million property, it throws everything for a loop. Same thing goes with much lower priced properties. The average amount of the price that you're going to sell your property for on average is 96.5% of the asking price. That remains unchanged from last year. The affordability index, the housing affordability index, sits at 113 right now. And I'm going to get into that. Inventory. This is where we always go with these conversations because it's really the topic of conversation. We don't have enough inventory in the majority of Charleston's market. Inventory so far this year is down 11%. We had about 6,000 homes on the market for sale at the end of October in 2016. Now we're sitting at about 5,300. And the month's supply of inventory, which is the total number of properties available for sale divided by the average number of homes that are going under contract on a monthly basis, is down 17%. By the way, that is the biggest reduction in the month's supply of inventory we have seen in over a year. So inventory continues to be an issue. I want to focus for just a second on housing affordability, and then I'm actually going to read through the stats for the individual areas within Charleston's Tri-County. Now, the Housing Affordability Index, let me explain what this means to you. This is an index that measures housing affordability for a particular region. So as an example, if we had an index of 100, that means that the median household income for that area is 100% of what is necessary to qualify for the median priced home in that area, of course, using prevailing interest rates. So the higher the number, the more affordable that market. So it just measures the overall affordability of our market when you compare the median income to the median home price in that particular area. And in Charleston, specifically, the Tri-County area, we're sitting at 113. This time last year, we were at 128, meaning 113% of our household income is what's necessary to qualify for the median price home under prevailing interest rates. So the lower the number, the less affordable properties become. Now, in May, June, and July, we were a little under 110. We sat between 108 and 109. It's gone up just a tad. But obviously, when you have prices going up and you have the affordability going down, it's going to sway some buyers in the decision-making process as to whether I buy that property or in that area, or maybe I'll just continue to rent if I'm a first-time home buyer. I'm going to wait for properties to get more affordable or wait for something to truly come on the market that better fits my, income. So that's what the affordability housing index is. And it's an important thing to watch because we, Charleston, as a market, are becoming less affordable. Kudos to us. Who doesn't want to have more value in your biggest asset, more than likely, which is your house? As a buyer, however, it creates some challenges. Now, if you look at the economics in general, things are looking good. The unemployment rate's at 4.1%, which is the lowest it's been since 2000. Overall economics are good right now. The question remains, if I'm going to buy a property, if I'm going to sell a property, can I still get a deal? If I'm a buyer, can I get something under fair market value, and how do I go about that? How do we know what fair market value is? And as a seller, how do I know that I'm not leaving money on the table? The last thing I want to do is put my home on the market, sell it in a day, and then think to myself, gosh, I should have asked more money. I should have asked for more money. And so that's where we are as a market right now. There's a lot of confusion. And what this data doesn't show you yet is that some areas are starting to shift. If you want to know if you're in an area that's shifting or not, give me a call. I'll tell you what's going on. It's just too much data on this program to highlight the specific areas and tell you exactly what's going on. If you want to know the value of your house, you want to know what's going on within your area, feel free to give me a call, 843-345-1273. That's 345-1273, or go to Listings in Charleston. That's listingsincharleston.com. And I will provide you with a report, and I'm happy to do that on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, whatever you need. But I want to help you better understand the value of your real estate and the direction in which that value is headed. Are you going to be one of those sellers who is frankly not going to see much change at all in your price over the next year? Or are you positioned for some fairly impressive appreciation? How does that impact your time frame if you want to sell your house and buy another? What's happening in the market that you want to buy in if you need to sell your house? If the market that you're selling in is stagnant, yet the market that you're buying in is going gangbusters and appreciating at 8% a year, maybe that accelerates your time frame, because the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be to make that transition. So when we come back, I'm going to read off some of these stats, and then I'm going to go into really my final segment here, which we're going to take the rest of our time to discuss, which is how people in this market get frustrated. I'm going to highlight a few different areas from a buyer's perspective and a seller's perspective and what you can do about it. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
More stimulating talk on real estate matters with Brian Beatty next on 1250 WTMA. WTMA. You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Welcome back, Charleston, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA. Some people really like this segment. Some people kind of tune out. But I'm going to read through the different areas of Charleston. I'm going to tell you what's happening in your market so that you can remain informed. And so I'm not going to waste any time with this because I really want to get to the bulk of this program, which is highlighting the things that people get frustrated by when buying or selling a house. I want to help you avoid those mistakes. I want you to better understand the process of hiring an agent, making an offer, how to protect yourself contractually, how to engage your agent so that you create a good professional and trustworthy relationship, and a few other things. So without any further ado, let me get into these stats. And I'm only going to read the stats as it relates to single-family detached housing. If you want information on a condo or a townhouse, go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com, and contact me that way. I will send you a report, no cost, no obligation, just to help you better understand what's happening in your neck of the woods. So, of course, you can call me, 843-345-1273. That's 843-345-1273. Call or text that number. Or you can send me an email, lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. That's lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. So here's what's happening in Berkeley County. Year to date, compared to the same amount of time last year, new listings are up 12%, closings are up 5%, the median sales price is up 5%, Properties are selling for 97.8% of asking price and in 43 days, and inventory is down 2%. Now, within Berkeley County, Daniel Island has seen a 7.5% increase in new listings. Closings are up 6%. The median sales price is actually down 3%, which is interesting because when you look at the average sales price, it's up 3.5%, but don't be fooled by that. Let's use the median. Properties are selling for 96.4% of asking price in 69 days, which is almost 40% more time than in 2016, by the way. Interesting for you to take into account. And inventory is down 6%. In Hanahan, new listings are down 3.5%. Closings are down 18%. The median sales price is up 6%. Properties are selling for 96.3% of their asking price in 50 days, and inventory is down almost 10%. In Goose Creek and Moncks Corner, new listings are up 13%. Closings are up 6%. Median sales price is up 6%. Properties are selling for 98.4% of asking price in 38 days, and inventory is down 6%. In the Wando and Cainhoy area, new listings are up almost 13%. Closings are down almost 1%. Median sales price is up 7%. You're getting 96.7% of your asking price in 58 days, and inventory is up almost 36%. Let's move to Charleston County. New listings are up almost 5%. No change in the number of closings. Median sales price is up 6%. You're getting 96% of your asking price in 58 days, and inventory is down 11%. Now, within Charleston County, downtown Charleston, inside the lower peninsula, the historic area, new listings are down almost 5%. Closings are up 11%. The median sales price is up 10%. 92.2% of asking price selling in 101 days, which is up 14% from last year, and inventory is down 11%. The peninsula above the crosstown, new listings are up 1%. Closings are down 8%. Median sales price is up 18%. Holy cow. 95.3% of asking price selling in 49 days, and inventory is up almost 30%, 27.5%. James Island, some cool data here. This market's been going crazy lately. New listings are up 16%. Closings are up 5%. The median sales price is up 14%. You're getting 96% of your asking price in 43 days, and inventory is down 10%. On Johns Island, new listings are up 47%. Hello, new construction. Closings are up 12%. The median sales price is up a little over 5%. You're getting 98.5% of your asking price in 46 days, and inventory is up almost 20%. In West Ashley, new listings are down 0.5%. Closings are down 5%. The median sales price is up 4%. You're getting 96.6% of your asking price in 34 days, and inventory is down a little over 7%. In North Charleston and Charleston County, new listings are down 2%. Closings are up 8%. Median sales price is up almost 7%. You're getting 96.6% of your asking price in 43 days, and inventory is down 36%. In Upper Mount Pleasant, the area of Mount Pleasant above the IOP connector north, new listings are down about 0.5%. Closings are down 11%. The median sales price is up 2%. You're getting 96.9% of your asking price in 76 days, which is up. And inventory is down 18%. This is one of those areas I was talking about. We're starting to see some signs of a shift in Upper Mount Pleasant as it relates to new construction, kind of that 500 to 750 mark. It's a little bit of a challenging market right now. Lower Mount Pleasant, new listings are up 4%. Closings are down 6%. The median sales price is up a little over 7%. You're getting 95.4% of your asking price in 55 days, and inventory is up 9%. Folly Beach, 31.5% decrease in new listings. Closings are up 8%. Median sales price is up 9%. They're selling in 120 days, and inventory is down 53%. Wow. Isle of Palms, new listings are up 4%. Closings are up 15%. Median sales price is down almost 8%. Days on market 129, and inventory is down 4%. Sullivan's Island, we don't really have a lot of data here. We've had a little bit of an increase in the median sales price. We're at 1.7 as the median sales price for Sullivan's Island. It's up 15, almost 16% from last year. Properties are selling in 142 days, and inventory is down 26%. Now, lastly, Dorchester County. Dorchester County overall, new listings are up 3.5%. Closings are up about 0.5%. Median sales price is up 6%. You're getting 97.6% of your asking price in 44 days, and inventory is down 10%. Now, in the greater Somerville area, which is where the majority of Dorchester County is, new listings are up 2%. Closings are down 1%. Median sales price is up 5%. You're getting 97.7% of your asking price in 44 days. Days on market's down almost 20%, by the way, and inventory is down 9%. Now, the Dorchester Road corridor of Dorchester County, new listings are up 7%, closings are up 3%, median sales price is up 10%. We've definitely seen that on our own team, selling properties very quickly. I think our average days on market in that area is like a week. The average days on market for the area in general is 37 days, and inventory is down 14%. In the Hollywood, Ravenel, Megget area, new listings are down 20%, closings are down 7%, median sales price is up 10%, days on market 88, inventory is down almost 30%. And then the St. George kind of rural area of Dorchester County, you don't want to forget about you guys. Really no change in new listings. Closings are up about 5%. Median sales price is up 13%. It's taken you about 129 days to sell your property. That's up almost 60% from last year. And inventory is down 6%. So that's where we stand as a market right now. Thanks for sticking with me as I read through that data. Again, if you want more information on what your market is doing, every market is different. Real estate is local. It's hyper-local, in fact. And just because you live in an area in a certain price range does not mean that the trends within that area are what you are going to experience. We have to look really as deep as your neighborhood, and in some cases, your street. I mean, if you remember several years ago, driving down a street and you see 5 or 6 for sale signs, you have to understand that that's going to have an impact on your ability to sell that property quickly and for the most money possible. We have to be strategic in our approach. You look at some of these other areas that are toward the upper end, we've seen a lot of new construction fill those gaps in demand and supply so that we've kind of reached equilibrium there. There's really not a lot of upward or downward pressure on pricing or demand. It's just a normal balanced market. And some sellers are under the impression that you put your property on the market and it's sold 2 weeks later for very close to, if not your full asking price. I mean, that is certainly the case in some areas because there's just a ton of demand and we can't get inventory on the market fast enough. Let me know if you're a buyer, by the way, and you're interested in purchasing a property very soon. I have a long list of people that would be listing their home in as little as a few weeks and as many as 5-6 months down the road. We call that shadow inventory. So if you're a buyer and you're anxious to learn what's about to come on the market, really the only way to find that out is to look at for sale by owners whom eventually list with a real estate agent like 85% of the time. Or you can contact an agent doing a lot of business. And we're going to do about 200 deals this year. So we have a big database of people that will be working with us at some point in the future. As a buyer, it makes sense for you to connect with us to see what we have coming down the road that might be a fit for you. Sellers, same thing. We have all these buyers right now looking for inventory in areas where inventory is challenging. I mean, you look back at the stats that I read, and overall, inventory is down 11%. I mean, the month supply of inventory is down 17%. Remember, that's the largest reduction in month supply of inventory we've had in over a year. So if you're a seller, there are people out there watching the market like a hawk. They are on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, a variety of websites. They are waiting for new listings to hit the market, some of which have engaged the real estate agent already, a lot of which are just waiting for the right property to hit the market, and then they contact a real estate agent. They kind of do it in reverse. I would advise you to interview your agent first if you're a buyer and utilize them and their connections and their database and their ability to hone in on new listings or, work their magic and find something before it becomes publicly available so that you're the first to the show. So that's something I can help you with. If you're a buyer or a seller, feel free to tap into my database. We only do that for clients, by the way. I'm sorry we don't share that list publicly, but would be more than happy to see if there's somebody that we're working with that we could match up with you, sellers and buyers. We have done it dozens of times over the past several years. It's a great resource for people. And, of course, who doesn't like knowing about properties before they hit the market? Gives us a little bit of an edge when we work with those folks. So feel free to give me a call to discuss that. Or, of course, if you're interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate, we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. I can be reached at 843-345-1273. Again, that's 345-1273. Or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. You're welcome to send me an email, of course, at lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. That's lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. Stick around because when we come back, we're going to talk about those things that people get frustrated by in this market and how we can plan accordingly so that you have the best possible transaction, whether it's buying, selling, or investing in real estate. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Have a real estate question? Ask Brian Beatty. Send him an email, lowcountryhomesales@gmail.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show is on 1250 WTMA. WTMA! Now, the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues on Charleston's Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back, Charleston, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA. Thank you for joining me this morning as we talk about real estate here in the Charleston area. What I want to focus on now are some of the things that people get frustrated by when they are working with a real estate agent or they're buying or selling a house, and what you can do about it. And what I really want to focus on this particular segment is the seller side of things. Next week, we'll talk about the buyer side of things, but there are so many different areas in which a real estate agent can drop the ball, or a conversation is had that tends to be misleading, or maybe a conversation isn't had at all, which is just a lack of communication. A variety of things that can go wrong throughout the course of your transaction with a real estate agent when you're selling a house. And so what I want to do is highlight a few of those areas and help you better prepare for that when it comes time for you to sell your house. And the first point I want to make is just hiring the right agent the first time and getting your home sold the first time around versus hiring that agent that's just going to tell you what you want to hear. And the way you get around that is by interviewing multiple agents. I don't mind at all when I interview with sellers that say, I appreciate you coming by. I do want to speak to a few other people. I say, absolutely, I respect it. I encourage it. I'm not here to, pull the wool over anybody's eyes, certainly. I'm here to just tell them what I think, deliver my value, and see if it's a fit. I do tell people that, I don't work with everybody that wants to sell their house. We have to determine whether or not your goals are achievable. If they're not, and if I think we're going to struggle, I'm going to tell that to you. I think one of the main frustrations that sellers have is, they hire this agent, the agent tells them what they want to hear, and more often than not, the property goes on the market at the seller's price, not the agent's recommended price, but the seller's price, because the seller, says, well, why don't we just try this? And the agent says, okay. And then they list the property and they wonder why they're not getting as much activity as they should. They're seeing their neighbors' properties going under contract and selling. And they're saying, well, wait a minute, what about me? What's going wrong? What are you not doing, real estate agent? And the problem is the approach was flawed from the beginning. One of the big challenges, that I always deal with, because about 60% of the listings that my team sells were previously listed with another real estate agent. We come in, we have to rebrand the property, remarket it, reintroduce it to buyers and to real estate agents, actually do marketing, which some agents frankly don't. They put it on the MLS. They think it looks good. They've, staged the property, or they've cleaned it up and it's priced well, and hey, it'll probably sell. Our approach, of course, is much different. We want to do everything possible to create exposure for your home as quickly as possible on a recurring basis, which is a big point, while also remaining cognizant and aware of changes within the marketplace. One of the other frustrations sellers have is they just don't understand why their house isn't selling. And I think one of the reasons why is the agent is only having a discussion with them about the state of the market and pricing when they discuss working together. It is a one-time conversation. And then 30, 45, 60 days later, the agent just says, yeah, we need to reduce the price $10,000. And you as a seller are like, well, okay, I want to sell my house and I'm willing to listen, but why? And then the agent's like, oh, well, let's look at the market and blah, blah. They're not being proactive with that information is what I'm getting at. That is a discussion that you need to be having with your agent on a recurring basis. I'll give you a perfect example. We listed a property in the beginning of the year, and there was plenty of data to support our asking price. But about 30 days into the agreement, after it hadn't sold, and as I'm checking, market trends and pricing, it was determined that a lot of the properties that were on the market very similarly to where we were priced had reduced their price and then gone under contract and then sold below their reduced asking price. So we had this downward shift in the market because a lot of the listings that were out there, the competition, was just simply overpriced. Now, we caught it, we sold it, we still got them a very good price for the house, but had I not been aware of those trends within the marketplace, who knows, maybe they'd still be on the market right now. And we see that a lot. We still see a massive amount of homes coming off the market as an expired listing that just did not sell. One of the main reasons why I can categorize as communication. What am I doing to sell your house? What's happening in the market? What do I realistically think this property will sell for? Some agents shy away from those conversations. They truly do. Why? Because if you as the seller said, here's the price that I want, and when you first put that property in the market, the agent said, okay. The agent is now afraid that you don't want to list your property at the agent's price, the price that they think will actually sell. So rather than ruffle the feathers, rather than tell you the truth, rather than be professional and say, this is really what needs to happen in order for us to get more activity and get this home sold, they'd rather avoid that conversation altogether. Because to them, it's better to have a listing, even if it's overpriced, rather than potentially lose a sale by telling you the truth of the price out of fear that you'll say, well, that doesn't work for me and I don't want to sell at that price. And then they've lost a listing. They've lost a marketing opportunity is what I'm getting at. If they don't sell your house, at least they can use your listing as an opportunity to find buyers or to leverage more opportunities by saying, hey, I'm doing business in this area. Do you want to sell your house? Now, a good real estate agent is doing that, and they're having conversations with people in the neighborhood, and they're turning over as many rocks as possible to find potential buyers for your house. But everybody wants results. The results are what matter. And at some point, if a listing agent says, yeah, we're doing a lot of business in the area, and all they're seeing is your real estate sign that sits in a front lawn for 6 months, they're going to start to question, okay, well, sure, you're doing some business, but you're not selling anything. And that's one of the things you want to ask your listing agent. What's the percentage of listings that you're actually selling? In asking that question, you avoid that relationship with an agent that's more concerned about having signs in the yard than in selling real estate. Don't get me wrong. I tell you very often on this program that I am here to kind of peel back the curtain and tell you what's happening in this industry. And one of the things that happens time and time again in the real estate market, which has probably happened since real estate agents were ever formed, was to use listings to get leads. Now, of course, an agent's business is supposed to be growing if they're marketing the home well. That's supposed to happen organically through hard work and through marketing and exposure and in saying the right things and speaking from an educated standpoint about the market. But there are plenty of agents out there that just want signs in the ground. One of the easiest ways for them to get leads is to just have a bunch of signs splattered across the community. Who cares if they sell or not? Their opinion would be, at least I'm getting buyer leads from it. At least they'll know some people that might want to sell, or they themselves need to sell in order to buy. It's a business opportunity for them. So you have to be very careful about that. You have to be extremely careful when you're interviewing real estate agents, because your BS meter has to be on when you are interviewing a real estate agent. If they're telling you something and they can't back that up with data and it's just their opinion, you have to question their opinion based on their level of experience. Now, if there's hardly any data to go off of, and I go into somebody's house and I say, this is my opinion, this is what I think, and I disclose to them that, look, there's not a lot of data. We can use that as a disadvantage or an advantage. Here's how. But if they're just shooting from the hip with a price, or if they're agreeing to your price without it being researched and having a discussion about the price, the market, expectations within it, then you're setting yourself up for a rough road ahead. So you need to be very open and honest with your real estate agent. And if you get the feeling that they are not being genuine with you, you need to keep looking, because that's just going to set you up for failure. And for those properties that come off the market and then have to be relisted with somebody else to actually get the job done, they're not the easiest sales. People have seen the property online already. They've chosen to come and see it in person or not. They've chosen to, make an offer or not. It's challenging as a listing agent to reintroduce a property into the market when people have already seen it and discarded it. But that's what really effective and experienced real estate agents do. They rebrand it, they reintroduce it. And in most instances, they actually do the marketing, which is kind of my final point, which is, how do you trust that the agent's actually going to do what they say they're going to do? I'm here to tell you, folks, there are plenty of agents out there that have a very impressive looking marketing plan. And when they take your signed agreement back to the office, guess what? They kick their feet up on their desk and they do hardly any of it. It just looks good and it helps them win the business. So how do you as the seller know that they're doing what they said they were going to do? We solve that problem on our end by giving sellers access to the back end of our system. We give them portal access so that they can actually see progress being made on their listings. When we check off a box on our very large marketing list, the seller gets notified of that. They know that we're doing what we say we're going to do. And if we ever want to come to the office and have us prove it, we'll prove it. So those are just a few things that you can take into account to help better prepare you to sell your property and to make sure that you have a profitable and productive transaction. If I can be of any help to you, feel free to give me a call, 843-345-1273. That's 345-1273, or go to listingsincharleston.com. Thanks a lot, Charleston, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 10. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-345-1273. 843-345-1273.